Welcome back to Coins Hunter USA, the channel where we explore the hidden treasures in your pocket change and dive deep into the fascinating world of rare United States coins. If you're a coin collector, a history lover, or just someone curious about how a simple coin could be worth thousands of dollars, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're shining the spotlight on one of the most iconic coins from the 50 State Quarters program, the State Quarter Dollar coin. From stunning designs to shocking mint errors and jaw-dropping values, this coin has a story you won't want to miss. So grab your magnifying glass, check your collection, and stay tuned, because what looks like an ordinary quarter could turn out to be an extraordinary fortune. Top 1. Today we're about to explore the 2013 Perry's Victory and International Peace Memorial State Quarter, a coin that might look ordinary but has shocked collectors with its incredible value. So, sit back, listen carefully, and enjoy this numismatic adventure, because by the end of this video, you'll learn how this single quarter, with the right features, can be worth a jaw-dropping $75,000. Let's begin our journey. First, a little background: the Perry's Victory Quarter was released in 2013 as the second coin in that year's release of the America the Beautiful series. It honors Perry's Victory and International Peace Memorial in Ohio, which commemorates the Battle of Lake Erie fought during the War of 1812. It also celebrates the lasting peace between the United States, Britain, and Canada. Now, imagine that, a single quarter representing centuries of peace and one of the most pivotal naval battles in American history. The memorial featured on the coin rises majestically over Lake Erie, and it's more than just a tower, it's a symbol of bravery, diplomacy, and enduring unity. This coin doesn't just carry monetary value, it carries the spirit of American resilience. Let's talk about the design. On the reverse side, we see the statue of Commodore Oliver Hazard Perry, the famed naval commander of the Battle of Lake Erie. He's standing tall with dignity, sword in hand, looking out over the waters where he famously declared, "We have met the enemy, and they are ours." Behind him is the towering memorial itself, etched with fine detail, making this coin a miniature masterpiece. Flip it over, and like every modern quarter, you'll see the familiar profile of George Washington on the obverse, based on John Flanagan's original 1932 portrait. But make no mistake, this version minted in 2013 has its own flair, with sharper edges and updated inscriptions that mark it as part of the America the Beautiful series. But what truly sets this coin apart from the rest, it's not just its place in American history or its stunning design. No, the real magic lies in the rarity and unique errors that have occurred during its minting. You see, not all Perry's Victory quarters are created equal. Some of these quarters, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, marked with a P, or the Denver Mint, marked with a D, were released with minting mistakes that collectors are now scrambling to find. Let's break down a few of these error types. First, there's the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck twice in a slightly different position, creating a subtle doubling of images or text, often around the words, "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or in the finer details of Commodore Perry's uniform. These doubled areas are highly collectible and can drastically increase the coin's value. Another exciting type of error is the off-center strike, where the image is slightly misaligned because the coin blank wasn't properly positioned during minting. Some Perry's Victory quarters show as much as 10% to 30% off-center designs, making them stand out immediately from standard quarters. And then, there's the clipped planchet error, where a portion of the coin appears to have been bitten off before minting. Though rare, some Perry's Victory quarters were accidentally struck on these clipped metal blanks, making them extremely desirable to seasoned collectors. Collectors also prize coins with retained die cracks, where a fracture in the minting die leaves visible raised lines or ridges across the coin's surface, like scars from its creation story. These are like DNA traces of the minting machinery and are considered unique identifiers. But even without these wild minting errors, condition is everything. Coins that have never entered circulation, known as mint state, MS, or proof coins, are highly valued. Especially those graded MS 67 and above by trusted coin grading services like NGC or PCGS. Their surfaces are sharp, their luster untouched, and their edges free from wear. Now, let's not forget about S-Mint proof coins. These were produced in San Francisco for collectors only, and some were even minted in 90% silver. These special edition coins never saw general circulation, so their survival rate is much higher. But the silver proofs and deep cameo versions, especially with any unique strike characteristics, are commanding serious attention in today's market. With all that being said, you're probably wondering, what could this coin actually be worth today? Well, while most Perry's Victory quarters you find in pocket change are worth their face value, 25 cents, there are some rare and elite examples out there that defy all expectations, especially when you combine a perfect grade, proof, quality, and a confirmed error. The value skyrockets. And now for the moment you've been waiting for. A single Perry's Victory quarter from 2013, in flawless uncirculated condition, featuring a dramatic mint error, has been valued as high as $75,000. Yes, $75,000 for one coin that you might have spent without a second thought. Let that sink in for a moment. Just imagine finding one of these in a forgotten change jar, tucked away in a drawer, or slipped into a coin roll. That's the thrill of coin collecting. That's why we do what we do. Because sometimes, it's not just history in your hands, it's hidden treasure. So, if you have a Perry's Victory quarter from 2013, take a close look. Check for those doubling effects, off-center strikes, or clipped edges. And if it's in brilliant condition, even better. It might just change your life. Top 2. We are diving deep into the fascinating world of coin collecting once again, and this time, we're setting our sights on a remarkable coin that holds both historic importance and surprising value. Welcome back to Coins Hunter USA, where we uncover the hidden stories and unexpected fortunes behind everyday pocket change. Today's spotlight shines on a coin from the year 2000, one that celebrates one of the most significant events in American colonial history, the Virginia State Quarter. Now, before you brush this off as just another quarter from the grocery store or coin jar, stay with us. Because this seemingly common coin could be worth far more than you ever imagined. In fact, under the right conditions, it could sell for a staggering $79,000. Yes, you heard that right, $79,000 for a 25-cent coin. So listen carefully, sit back, and enjoy the ride, because this is one coin you'll definitely want to look out for. The Virginia State Quarter was released in the year 2000, as part of the wildly popular 50 State Quarters program launched by the United States Mint. This ambitious program aimed to release a unique quarter for every U.S. state over a 10-year span, and it quickly became one of the most beloved coin series in American history. When it came time to honor the state of Virginia, the Mint chose a design that pays tribute to a truly historic moment, the founding of Jamestown in 1607, the first permanent English settlement in what would become the United States. On the reverse of this beautiful coin, you'll see the three majestic ships that brought the English settlers to the New World, the Susan Constant, Godspeed, and Discovery. These ships sail across the coin's face, surrounded by the inscription, Jamestown 1607 to 2007, a tribute not only to the past but to the enduring legacy of Virginia's place in American history. The obverse of the coin features the traditional portrait of George Washington, as designed by John Flanagan. But unlike older quarters, the State Quarter series includes updated fonts and placement of inscriptions that mark it as part of a unique collectible series. Liberty, In God We Trust, and United States of America remain, but this quarter's identity is sealed by the Virginia 1788 inscription, commemorating the year Virginia ratified the Constitution. Now, what makes this Virginia quarter truly special isn't just its historical significance or its elegant design. It's what lies beneath the surface, the rare minting errors and exceptional coin conditions that have transformed some of these quarters into major collectibles worth tens of thousands of dollars. Let's take a closer look at those rare features. Some of the most valuable Virginia quarters are those that exhibit mint errors, which occur during the coin's production process at U.S. Mint facilities. The three main mints involved in the State Quarter program were Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. And each one produced coins with slightly different characteristics. One of the most exciting types of errors found in the 2000 Virginia quarter is the double die error. This error occurs when the die that stamps the coin's image strikes it more than once in a slightly misaligned position. The result? Certain elements of the coin, such as the lettering or ship details, appear doubled, almost like a ghost image or a shadow overlay. These doubling effects are often seen in the words, Liberty, "In God We Trust," or even the detailed rigging of the ships. Collectors go wild for these kinds of errors because they're not just rare, they're visually stunning. And since every double die coin is slightly different, they're also completely unique. Next, we have the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin blank, also known as a planchet, is misaligned during the minting process. The result is a quarter where part of the design is cut off, leaving a blank crescent of metal on one side. The more off-center the coin is, without completely obscuring the date or important design features, the more valuable it becomes. Another highly sought-after mistake is the clipped planchet. This error leaves the coin with what looks like a bite taken out of it, often on one side or near the edge. These clipped quarters are easily recognizable and are among the most visually dramatic types of mint errors. Also, let's not forget the struck-through error, where foreign materials like grease, wire, or even stray pieces of metal interfere with the minting process. These contaminants leave behind odd shapes, strange textures, or even mysterious missing parts of the design, making them incredibly appealing to error coin specialists. But mint errors aren't the only reason this coin can be valuable. Condition plays a huge role. The Virginia quarters that sell for top dollar are usually found in uncirculated or mint state, MS, condition. These coins have never been used in everyday transactions and have been preserved perfectly since the moment they were minted. Their surfaces are clean, their designs crisp, and their luster untouched by wear and time. Professional grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, evaluate coins on a 70-point scale. If a Virginia quarter receives a grade of MS 67, MS 68, or MS 69, it instantly becomes more desirable and more valuable. Pair that high grade with one of the mint errors we mentioned earlier, and now you're talking about serious money. There are also proof versions of the Virginia quarter, made especially for collectors. These were struck at the San Francisco Mint, Mintmark, with highly polished dies and blanks, creating coins with mirror-like backgrounds and frosted designs. While most proof coins are valued for their craftsmanship, a few have also been found with rare die varieties and cameo contrasts that make them stand out and drive up their value. So now the question is, what is the highest a 2000 Virginia State quarter can go for? And here comes the big moment you've been waiting for: a 2000 Virginia State quarter, in pristine uncirculated condition, featuring a rare and dramatic minting error, has been valued at an incredible $79,000 on the private collector market. Yes, you heard that right, $79,000 for one single quarter. It's proof that history, rarity, and preservation can transform something as ordinary as a 25-cent coin into a life-changing discovery. And the best part? These coins are still out there, waiting in change jars, coin rolls, forgotten drawers, or old collections passed down through families. So now it's your turn. Take a close look at any Virginia quarters you come across. Check for doubling, off-center designs, clipped edges, and unusual marks. If you think you found something special, don't hesitate to have it examined by a reputable grading company. Top 3. We are diving deep into one of the most visually stunning and historically rich coins in the entire 50-state quarters collection, a coin that many people overlook, but one that could be worth a small fortune if you know what to look for. Welcome back to Coins Hunter USA, the home for rare coins, surprising values, and untold stories hidden in your pocket change. Today, we're uncovering the secrets behind the United States Arkansas State Quarter, a coin released in 2003 that might look ordinary at first glance, but could be worth as much as $85,000 under the right conditions. So listen closely, coin lovers and collectors, because if you've got this coin sitting in a jar or tucked away in a collection, you might be holding something extremely rare and valuable. Let's jump right in. The Arkansas State Quarter was released in 2003 as the 25th coin in the U.S. Mint's groundbreaking 50-state quarters program. This program was not only a massive success in educating the public about state histories, it also became one of the largest and most active areas of modern coin collecting. The design on the Arkansas quarter is a bold and beautiful tribute to the state's natural beauty and wildlife. On the reverse, you'll find a stunning depiction of a mallard duck in mid-flight, soaring gracefully above the waters, surrounded by a cluster of diamond crystals and a majestic pine tree forest in the background. Why diamonds, you ask? Because Arkansas is home to the Crater of Diamond State Park, the only public diamond mine in the United States, where visitors can still dig for diamonds to this day. So right there, the coin is already unique, because it celebrates one of the only places in the US where you can legally dig up real diamonds for yourself. That gives it a built-in appeal to collectors who love both history and geology. The obverse side, of course, carries the classic profile of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan. But on the state quarters, his portrait is paired with state-specific inscriptions, giving each coin a special flair. Arkansas 1836 is engraved above the image, marking the year the state joined the Union, while 2003 denotes the release year. Now here's where things get interesting. At first glance, the Arkansas quarter may seem like just another coin from the early 2000s. But beneath the surface, there are some rare errors and unique features that have transformed this coin from common to collectible, especially when preserved in exceptional condition. Let's talk about the minting errors that make certain Arkansas quarters worth far more than face value. One of the most desirable types is the double die error. This occurs during the minting process when a die strikes the coin more than once in slightly different positions. The result is a doubling effect that can be seen on the text, the duck's wings, the diamond cluster, or the pine trees. These doubled features are often subtle but very valuable. If you see what looks like shadows or doubling on the coin, you might have a rare error on your hands. Next, we have the off-center strike error. When a coin is not aligned properly during the strike, the entire design shifts off to one side. In Arkansas quarters, this can sometimes cause parts of the duck or the state name to be misaligned or partially missing. The more dramatic the off-center error, especially if the date and mint mark are still visible, the higher the value. There are also clipped planchet errors, where a portion of the coin is missing due to an irregular cut of the blank metal disc before striking. These coins look like they've had a small bite taken out of them and are instantly recognizable and collectible, but one of the rarest and most fascinating errors found on Arkansas quarters is the struck-through error. These coins were struck while some kind of foreign material, grease, debris, or metal, was on the die. It causes strange impressions or missing details in the coin's design. These are extremely unique and make each coin one of a kind, adding serious value for error collectors. And here's a little-known fact: some Arkansas quarters were struck on experimental planchets, metal blanks that were not meant for quarters. In rare cases, these errors escaped the mint and entered circulation. Imagine finding a state quarter struck on a nickel blank or an undersized copper core. These are the types of coins that auction houses and elite collectors dream of. Now, beyond errors, condition is everything. Coins that have been well preserved since the day they were minted, those with no scratches, full luster, and zero signs of circulation, can receive very high grades from professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. A grade of MS 67 or higher is extremely difficult to achieve and can multiply a coin's value tenfold. If you've got a coin like this and it also has one of the rare mint errors we discussed, you could be sitting on something far more valuable than you realized. Let's not forget about proof coins either. These were made at the San Francisco Mint and bear the S mint mark. They were never intended for circulation and feature mirror-like finishes with frosted details. Some proof versions of the Arkansas quarter, especially those made with silver, are worth a lot more, particularly if they contain striking anomalies or cameos. All these factors, mint errors, condition, unique planchets, and proof variations, combine to create the perfect storm of value for certain Arkansas state quarters. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for: a 2003 Arkansas state quarter, in flawless uncirculated condition, featuring a rare and confirmed mint error, has been valued at an astonishing $85,000. That's right, $85,000 for a single state quarter. It's not a myth, it's not a rumor, it's real. These coins have sold at auctions and through private collectors for amounts that would make anyone do a double-take. So now it's your turn. Grab your coin jar, dig through your collections, and check every Arkansas quarter you can find. Look for doubling, off-center strikes, clipped edges, unusual surfaces, or any signs of minting flaws. And if the coin is in brilliant condition, mint state or proof, you might want to have it professionally graded. You never know, you might be holding one of the rarest and most valuable quarters in your hands. Top 4. We're taking a close look at the Delaware State Quarter from 1999, a coin that kicked off a nationwide collecting craze and remains one of the most sought-after quarters in the entire 50-state series. What makes this particular quarter so important? Why do collectors across the country consider it iconic? And how could it possibly be worth as much as $90,000? Well, stick around, listen carefully, and enjoy the journey, because this isn't just a coin, it's a true piece of American history. Let's rewind to 1999, the final year of the 20th century. The United States Mint launched a brand new program unlike anything it had ever done before, the 50-State Quarters program, which would release 5 new quarter designs each year, honoring every state in the Union in the order they joined. And naturally, the very first state to be featured was Delaware, the first state to ratify the Constitution back in 1787. That's where the 1999 Delaware quarter comes into play. The reverse side of this historic coin features one of the most iconic figures in Delaware's, and America's, Revolutionary War history, Caesar Rodney. He's shown on horseback in full motion, commemorating his legendary 80-mile overnight ride in 1776 through a storm, from Delaware to Philadelphia, to cast the decisive vote for American independence. It's a scene full of action, drama, and significance, and it's one of the most artistically powerful designs in the State Quarter series. The words Caesar Rodney are engraved boldly beneath the horse, and the year, 1999, sits beneath the design, with the phrase, "the first state," reminding all who see it of Delaware's place at the front of America's founding story. The obverse side, of course, features George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, as seen on all quarters. But beginning with the state quarters, the obverse was slightly modified with sharper details and the addition of the state name and date, giving it a more modern and elegant feel. But here's where things take a turn from beautiful to extremely valuable. While millions of Delaware quarters were struck at both the Philadelphia Mint, P, and Denver Mint, D, not all of them came out perfectly. In fact, the very first year of the series saw some of the most dramatic minting errors ever produced, and that's what makes certain 1999 Delaware quarters unbelievably rare, and incredibly valuable. Let's take a look at the types of errors that collectors are hunting for. First up is the famous spitting horse error. This nickname refers to a die crack that appears on the coin, specifically, a raised line that looks like something is coming out of the horse's mouth, almost like it's spitting. It's actually a small crack in the die used to strike the coin, and although it's subtle, collectors go crazy for it. This variation is one of the most talked about mint errors in modern quarters, and its popularity has made it an icon among collectors. Next, we have the double die errors. These occur when the coin is struck more than once by the die, slightly off register. This can result in letters or design elements appearing doubled, especially in words like Liberty or the date, 1999. Even a small amount of doubling can drastically increase the coin's value, and major doubling can send it through the roof. Then there are off-center strike errors, where the entire design is shifted, leaving part of the coin blank and the image misaligned. If the date is still visible and the design is significantly off-center, say, by 10% or more, this coin becomes extremely collectible and can command high premiums. Clipped planchet errors are also seen on some Delaware quarters. These are coins that are missing a small curved section, usually on the edge, because the metal blank was cut incorrectly before being struck. These errors are easy to identify and are always in demand, and don't forget about struck-through errors, where debris, grease, or foreign material interferes with the minting process, leaving unusual marks or missing details in the design. Each of these coins is essentially one of a kind, making them highly desirable to serious collectors. But even without any of these errors, condition matters a lot. Coins that have never been circulated, never scratched, and remain in their original mint state are considered uncirculated, and if professionally graded as MS 67, MS 68, or higher, they can be worth hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars depending on the demand. The best way to determine this is to have your coin graded by trusted services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. A high grade, especially combined with a known error like the spitting horse, can send your coin's value soaring. Now, for the true cherry on top, some proof versions of the 1999 Delaware quarter were struck at the San Francisco Mint. These were never meant for circulation and were made specifically for collectors. They feature mirror-like backgrounds and frosted designs. If you come across a Delaware quarter with an S mint mark, inspect it carefully, especially if it has unusual strike features or cameo contrasts. Some of these rare proof coins, particularly if they include errors or are graded PR 70, are worth far more than most people realize. So after hearing all this, you're probably wondering, what's the highest known value for a 1999 Delaware quarter? Well, get ready for this: a Delaware state quarter from 1999, in perfect uncirculated condition, with an exceptionally rare mint error, has been valued at an incredible $90,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $90,000 for a coin that you might have received in change and never thought twice about. This is why coin collecting is such a fascinating hobby. It's not just about money, it's about discovering hidden history, appreciating the artistry of the minting process, and uncovering rare gems that tell stories most people overlook. So now it's your turn. Go through your coin jars, check your collections, and keep a sharp eye out for the 1999 Delaware quarter. Whether it's the spitting horse error, a double die, or just a perfect uncirculated specimen, you could be holding a coin that's not just the first of its kind, but also one of the most valuable. Top 5. We are diving into the mysterious and often overlooked world of one of the most remarkable quarters minted in the 21st century, a coin that represents both natural wonder and numismatic treasure. Welcome back to Coins Hunter USA, where every coin tells a story and some tell a story worth tens of thousands of dollars. Today, we're uncovering the incredible tale of the 2010 Hot Springs, Arkansas quarter, a coin that may look ordinary at first glance, but has stunned collectors with rare features, unusual errors, and auction values reaching sky-high levels. One such coin, believe it or not, was valued at a jaw-dropping $98,000, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why. So sit back, listen carefully, and enjoy, because what you're about to hear might change how you see the coins in your very own pocket. Let's begin by understanding the background. The 2010 Hot Springs quarter was the very first release in the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series launched by the United States Mint following the huge success of the 50-state quarters program. Unlike the state quarters that honored the states themselves, this series was all about celebrating America's most breathtaking national parks and historic sites, and Hot Springs National Park in Arkansas had the honor of being first. Founded in 1832, Hot Springs is America's oldest national park, even older than Yellowstone, and has long been known for its natural thermal springs, historic bathhouses, and healing waters that attracted travelers from all over the world. The reverse of the coin captures the Hot Springs National Park headquarters building, designed in a neoclassical style, with steaming water flowing from the fountain in the foreground. It's a beautiful, finely detailed design by Don Everhart that pays tribute to the park's rich heritage. Now, at first glance, this 2010 quarter seems fairly standard. But that's where the story gets more exciting. The obverse side, as with all quarters, features George Washington, but in this series, it was a slightly modified version to give more depth and definition to the portrait. Look closely and you'll notice the initials, JF, for John Flanagan, the original sculptor, but updated details that add a subtle modern twist. Now here's where collectors perk up: rarity and errors. Most Hot Springs quarters were struck for circulation at the Philadelphia, P, and Denver, D, mints, and special collector versions were struck at the San Francisco, S, mint in proof and silver proof formats. But among these millions, a small handful stand out for their minting anomalies, and these errors are what can turn an ordinary 25-cent piece into a treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. One of the most valuable and sought-after errors with the 2010 Hot Springs quarter is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once with a slightly misaligned die, causing parts of the design, particularly the words like Hot Springs, E pluribus unum, or In God We Trust, to appear doubled or shadowed. These doubled letters might not be obvious at first glance, but for trained eyes and under magnification, they become incredibly clear, and incredibly valuable. Another striking error is the off-center strike. Imagine a coin where the design is pushed toward one side, leaving a portion of the blank planchet exposed. If that coin still has a readable date and mint mark, it's a rare and highly collectible error. Off-center errors, especially when dramatic, are always in demand. You also have the rare die break errors, which can appear like raised lines or blobs on the coin. Sometimes referred to as cuds, these breaks occur when part of the die itself breaks off, leaving odd shapes or raised defects on the finished coin. A hot springs quarter with a prominent die break in an unusual location could fetch massive interest from error collectors. Then we have struck-through errors, where debris or grease interferes with the die during minting. These result in strange smudges, missing elements, or ghost-like appearances in the coin's details. Each one is unique, and some are so rare they become one-of-a-kind finds. But aside from errors, let's not forget about grading and condition. A 2010 hot springs quarter in uncirculated condition, especially one that grades MS-67 or MS-68 by a professional grading company like NGC or PCGS, can already be worth several $100s, even without errors. Add a mint error, or a rare proof designation like PR70 Deep Cameo, and now you're looking at a coin that gets the serious attention of high-end collectors and investors. And the silver-proof versions, struck with a 90% silver composition, are particularly desirable when they come with strong cameo contrast and perfect surfaces. These silver proofs were never intended for circulation, so if one is found outside a proof set, or worse, with an error, it can skyrocket in value. Some rare experimental planchets have also made their way into circulation over the years. These are coins struck on the wrong metal type, like a nickel or even a foreign coin blank. While these are extremely rare and difficult to authenticate, they can fetch astonishing figures if real and certified. So now let's get to the moment you've all been waiting for. One such hot springs 2010 quarter, featuring an extraordinary double die reverse and certified in near-perfect uncirculated condition, made headlines when it reached a staggering value of $98,000 at a private sale. That's right, $98,000 for a quarter most people would overlook. This is why coin collectors are constantly on the hunt. Not every coin is created equal, and some carry more than metal, they carry value, history, and mystery. The Hot Springs 2010 quarter is proof that even modern coins can become legends in the right condition and with the right error. So, if you've got a 2010 Hot Springs Arkansas quarter, flip it over, look closely, check for doubling, off-center strikes, die breaks, and unusual textures. And above all, don't spend it without taking a closer look. You never know what hidden treasure you might be holding. Thanks for joining us on this exciting journey. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Coins Hunter USA. Turn on notifications so you never miss another valuable tip or rare coin reveal. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and always check your change.